This is Alcohol Freedom Finders. In this episode, we talk to Dan, Justine's personal trainer. We'll hear how a near-death experience led Dan to truly embrace his life as a fitness coach through self-awareness and the support of his fellow physical and mental health experts. We'll also learn his own daily routines and the importance of self-forgiveness and the power of community and connection in overcoming addictive behavior. Let's dive in.
Okay. Welcome everybody to another podcast with the Alcohol Freedom Finders. I'm Justine Clark, and today I'm super excited because I'm welcoming my very own personal trainer, Dan Panzanaro. I've said that wrong, but forgive me, Dan. So excited to have you with me. You certainly helped me on my transformation journey. So excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here as well. I think you guys are passing through a message that is really important.
Yeah, welcome, Dan. Yeah, really nice to meet you. So, personal trainer, a friend of Justine's when she was back in Peckham. So, take us back to your own sort of story, and I understand that you no longer drink now yourself. How did you come to that decision, and what was life like for you when you decided to change?
It was, I think, a consequences of events that happened in my life that kind of made me decide that this is not something that needs to be in my life. I think the word alcohol and addiction or anyone needs to carry their own cross, don't they? So, semi-funny story about life, really. I'll tell you the story. So we were at a party and my lung collapsed. So I remember being in this taxi, praying with every little pieces of me for another chance, for another possibility of keep helping people, really, because I'm a bit of people pleaser, so I quite like to help people and give what people need, really. So that's where my call,
Thanks for sharing that difficult thing to share. One of the things that I would say about meeting you and being your friend is that very rarely do you meet people that you start from this incredible heartfelt connection. We often do actually find people in this kind of work where the connection is so vulnerable and authentic. But with you, it was instant. I felt that you're someone who was incredibly present and incredibly from the heart and really there for people. And I can see how actually,
Thank you, Jay.
a very special person. And for people that are, super connected and able to do that, I think that alcohol just can cause a veil or a gauze to come over that and disrupt that connection. Anyway, so how did you start turning it around from, okay, here I am in a taxi, I've got a collapsed lung, something's got to change. What did you do about it?
I just saw my life, really. I know it sounds a bit overdramatic a little bit. Well, by the way, my legs recovered, there are no scars. So it's all fine. I went back to my life and started to think, when did I start to drink the first time? And I gotta be honest, my thing wasn't really much drinking. So, but there were other addictions to it. That's why I say everyone carries his own cross around. And I was lucky a lot because I've always this half side of me that kind of knew that wasn't the right thing. So somehow I always ended up working. I wasn't ended up being nice to people. I wasn't self-sabotaging myself to that point. But I think it could have be more dramatic, to be honest. It could be so much worse. So yeah, that happened 4 years ago by now. And again, I get into fitness because my mom got me in a gym because she wanted to take me out of the street. I should have went to school. And so the fitness was kind of always there, it wasn't my main thing. And I was working hospitality before, so hospitality background. But I always coached people, friends, done some martial arts myself, so that's what it started anyway. And then I think I made a conscious decision of establishing a business that would help people finding the true self 4 years ago. And I know it sounds silly, but I think, Jay, when you say that it's something to the lung and to myself related to fitness, I use fitness at the moment as a key to self-awareness and to remind myself the promise that I made to myself and why it's important not to go back there, Alcohol freedom, I think is great because what you guys do, you're telling people that, correct me if I'm wrong about it, you don't simply you are an addict, let's say, for life. You can just understand that what you did is not right. You're learning from it, and then you move on. You forgive yourself. I think it's one of the important things that people don't do when they use substances is that they don't forgive themselves and they want to change a situation within themselves and their surrounding that they're not really liking. That's why someone drinks or take drugs or whatever they do. I'm not judging. It's, been there on that. So I know exactly where it comes
Yeah, I
from.
mean,
But you were right, Barry.
sorry, I was going to say, yeah,
Sorry.
I think there's a lot of truth in what you say. That I think when you say everyone's got a cross, I think the idea that there's so much around us at the moment that is addictive. The things, our telephones, sugar, smoking, vaping, any kind of illicit
Negative
drugs,
thinking.
drinking, and it's all there, and it's all pushed to us by the media as a way to change the way that you feel and improve the situation that you're in that moment. And I think it's also very true the way that you sort of say, it can be very difficult to forgive yourself for getting involved and getting too attached to something. But it's also, I think, part of the way that we approach is to realize that it's not you, it's not your fault, and so you certainly should forgive yourself, because you're just reacting to a substance that, or a behavior that is addictive. It's sort of tapping into something ancient in our brains that makes us feel we want more of it, and that it's really important. And and in some situations it can even feel like it's life and death. It's that important. But the reality is that if you can take a break, can take a step back and see things from a different angle, you can realize, actually, no, it's not doing me any favors. And so how did you, when you took, I assume then when you had this sort of dramatic moment. I had something similar where I ended up cutting my head. I didn't remember what had happened, and my kids came home and they found me, and I was just humiliating and scary. And I realized, okay, I've got to change. How was that for you? Did you find it difficult to stop drinking? Did you find it sort of the next day, that was it, I'm done, or how was it?
Nah, you won't believe it. I carry on doing it, Mr.
Well, it's
Barry.
very normal. It's very normal.
So, it took, I don't know, I just woke up one day, literally knowing if you carry on like this, you're gonna die. I had that thing deep down me, and I just had to listen to them. I just had to be able to give strength to it. I'm sorry to disagree with you on one point. I agree 99% of everything that you said before. What I slightly disagree is about is the people that are not taking responsibility for their life, they develop an addiction. Because if you're always faulting someone, you're finding your you almost protecting yourself around your bubble, around the substances, talking within yourself, because it's someone else's fault that happened. You're not taking charge. At least, actually,
I think
I do
you're right.
apologize, and I'm not saying to extreme. Maybe that's what's for me.
No, I think you're
Sorry,
right. It's definitely it's our own responsibility to get ourselves out of it and realize, But like, I'm just not saying it's not somebody's fault that they become addicted, but it is their responsibility to fix it.
Yes,
It's their
sir.
own responsibility to fix it. That's the way that I look at least. Justine, do you have a question?
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, because
Yeah,
environment can get you there. Sorry, Jay.
the distinction that we make in our work is that it's not your fault, because alcohol and food and sugar and drugs are addictive substances. So they are addictive, and our primal brain just asks for more that's going to make it happy. It's not clever enough to know whether the dopamine is good dopamine or bad dopamine. It doesn't know. But it's our responsibility, like what you have done, to go, I'm going to give my body an opportunity to make good dopamine through exercise and through good choices, and slowly retrain the brain that that's the only dopamine I want. That's why Barry and I are here, to help people see that
Fantastic.
it's not their fault, but it's their choice,
choice,
and it's
yeah,
their
yeah.
responsibility. Like I so anytime that someone comes to me as a wellbeing therapist and is looking for support or health, help me, I'm like, here are the tools for you to help yourself. because there's only one person that you're responsible for in this world, unless you've got children. There's only one person that can turn that around, and we know the answer to that. What would you say to someone that's looking to, they come into you, they're a potential client, they're overweight with a bad lifestyle. How do you help them reframe it?
Oh my God, starting to analyzing everything that they do, talking to them so much, starting to understand their beliefs, what they're thinking is right, what they're thinking is wrong, having a look on their surrounding, because, Mr. Gary, I might have to correct myself to what I said before. I think you're right. Your surrounding can definitely get you down into addictions, So definitely have a look into the support group that they have around and understanding what the real reason of the change that they want is. Is intrinsic or extrinsic reason? Where the desire to change come from, and how did they start it? Probably, I will be more interested to see if even there is. I don't really like the word, but if there is some drama right there that generated the repetitive behavior, and then make him understand that it's okay, definitely no judgment, it is what it is in the end of the day, and they should be proud of themselves because they want to make a change and starting fresh. That's it.
Really good, really good. And I think you're right. I think trauma can be a key part to what keeps people stuck, because it feels like it's an antidote, or it feels like it's a relief from when people, particularly with drugs and with alcohol, when you take them only in a sort of positive way, if that's the right way, is a sort of just for fun and just with socially, and just to sort of make a situation bigger and better. If that's your approach, it tends to be have a less negative, or it's slower to have a negative effect on you. But I think when it's traumatic, when it's an emotional thing, or a depression thing, or an anxiety thing,
Exactly.
it can be you can really cling onto it tight, and that can be difficult. But again, if you can see, what's driving it, and if you can see what the effect that it's actually having, and that it's sort of making the situation worse rather than better, then it can be something that allows you to sort of take a step back and start to move away, and maybe taking a break and what have you, and like Justine said, looking for healthier ways to make yourself, to get the dopamine flowing is really, really a good way to go. And if I can ask you, in these years, did you say 4 years since you stopped?
Almost
What sort of surprises have you had life without alcohol and other substances?
Yeah, I think you're growing so much as a person. You know, it's very interesting how much more aware of your thoughts you become. It's crazy. I don't think that's really what helped me throughout this year. With all my clients as well, is self-awareness. It's being able to observe yourself, but not without judgment. It's because if you judge, then that's what the negative self-talk happens, and that's where again you're going back to the addiction. So just be a completely observer, detach, be stoic kind of thing, if you really want to put it in simpler terms. Yeah, so that really clarity, it develops a lot of clarity. And yeah, so self-observance will be my answer. So it's what really, you start to be aware of people around you, behaviors that they have, your own, how you remember and how you would have acted in that situation if you had the substance in you. You kind of start to be a bit more um, compassionate toward people that use it, because you understand that they're in a little loop. And it's very hard. You see, you talk about that moment. It's very hard for me to recall that moment when that happened, because I know what you're talking about. But when that actually was, I do not know. Yeah, but I think it's interesting. You've been in sober many years yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2018 when I stopped, so whatever that is, 7 years. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Wow. Even yourself, you haven't.
3 years last month from when I really knuckled down to commit to a
Yeah.
permanent change. And I think maybe the fact that we're similar time frames, and when we met each other, we both knew that we were communicating with the world from a different place. Because what you said is dead right. It's two things I want to say. First of all, around addiction and trauma, I see it as like, for those of us that have experienced deep trauma in our childhood, whatever kind, whether it's physical or mental, it's like there's a crack. There's a little crack in our vessel, the vessel of self. And that's what alcohol or substance is looking for. It's looking for those little cracks, and it gets into those cracks and says, "Hey, I'm your friend. I'm here for you, and nobody else is, but I'm here for you. I'm your cozy blanket. I'm the thing. It's the thing." So as soon as you realize that, as Barry always says, it's an illusion, it's not the thing, then you start to find that freedom. And then the second part was, we are kept there because both with trauma and with substance, we feel shame. Both with trauma and with substance, we feel like it's our fault and we're to blame. And as soon as we go, actually, that substance is shitty and that situation was shitty, I'm going to look after myself, that's when we start to sort of claw our way back to, as you say, building a life where, for the first time, holy shit, it's just me. What decisions am I going to make? And as you say, that's the beginning point. It's not like,
No,
I've
no.
stopped doing the things and I'm fixed. You just get yourself back to the starting line going, okay, now what? So what was your biggest fear or challenge now that you were kind of like, okay, I'm free of all that, now what?
Well, I think that one of the biggest challenges I always analyze is how do I keep it, right? Because there are not many tools out there, and especially for a person like me, I get bored very easily of things. So all those apps, all those sounds, they don't really provide you accountability, do that. It's not therapists. You're going to psychotherapist. I do. I really recommend to Aaron. I think everyone that really wants to be a person, you should experience that. But that's someone else's choice. Um. So yeah, did I answer your question? Do you think? What do you think?
I think I wanted to, what I was asking you was, you get yourself back to the starting line with no substance, with no other props. Number one, you go and see someone to help because you realize that it's grasping for solutions, and you a way of staying in your choice. Yes, you answered it because you said your biggest fear is, how do I stay
Oh yeah,
present
how do you keep it,
in
right?
this new way? And if
Yeah, I don't know. Did you guys?
and that is that's why we're here. And literally why we're here. We believe in repetition, 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 and we believe in community and connection. The other thing, we have the science. The science is there that proves, that holds up. We're just here to go, talk to me about it. Let's talk with each other about it. There's no shame. My story, it's taken us a long time to start to share some of the details about our stories. I went to see a play last night that I 100% recommend if it is doing a tour. It's called The Dry House, and it's basically about, two Irish sisters and their stories. The more that we get the stories out there and share and hold each other accountable and make each other feel
The
safe
more we
in a
normalize it,
new
right?
way.
The problem becomes, I think.
Thanks.
Yeah, really good. And I think
shame.
therapy is definitely, certainly when trauma is involved, the just coaching can be part of your journey. But I think when you're struggling with mental health on another level, when it's not just about straight about an addictive substance or behavior, then yeah, I think there's definitely a place for psychotherapy or other forms of therapy. And it can, it's really important that also is clear that that coaching isn't necessarily the cure of for our whole for everything. So when it comes to life today, what's your daily routine now? What are you a morning person? Are you still an evening person? What's your day?
Good, likely, but very busy. I wasn't a morning person, but I became one. I have to say, I think you got a lot to do in a day. You can't wake up after a certain time. you know. But yeah, so I've got a really strict routine in the morning, really something that stands me out through the day. And if I don't do it, I don't know, it might be a plateau or thing, but I can do it all the day. Doesn't seem to fit in as nice, you know. So I wake up, I'll make up the coffee, bit of a tradition, but I still have the classical mocha there. So I put it there on the fire. While the mocha goes, I already my mat there, and I do my breathing, my core awakening, my stretches. Very, very little time, yeah. Don't expect a lot of time, but 15 minutes top, it's all done. And then I stay there, I do my diaring. So I things a lot of things all the time. So I write them down, and in the morning I take those 3 minutes, literally 3 minutes o'clock, to kind of understand if they make and then create a list to go through. And so that's about 15, 17 minutes. Then 5 minutes at breakfast. And then I start to plan a day really. But one thing I would recommend, start journaling. Very important. Very, very important. Because a certain period, you know, we might be thinking, I think that everything's going badly just because I loop in a thought and that repeats all the time, right? But the journey with the date clarify the things for you. So you don't have to rely on your memory for that. I really recommend, especially to someone that decides to start a journey of stopping alcohol. It's really important. Also, you're keeping yourself accountable. And so, yeah. Did you have any routine in the morning? What's your, do you guys just wake up and go start in it? Or
I 100% agree with you that free journaling in particular, where you're not trying to sense yourself, that you just write whatever comes, stream of consciousness. That's a big part of this methodology as well, that we encourage people
and
to start the new path by themselves, a brand new physical journal, so that they can, you know, start to make sense of themselves. And for some reason, the act of writing, the science, or Andrew Huberman will be able to tell us, wouldn't he? But the act of free writing, that's what helps change the neuroplasticity in the brain and creates those new thoughts. So that's the science. I
do you
don't.
think,
Go.
sorry, no, please.
I don't free journal enough. It's something that I want to get back to more. But as you were saying, the day is now nowhere near long enough for the things that I want to do in it. That, I was gonna ask you what's new, but for me, like you, it's that the day just simply isn't long enough because there are so many things that I'm now able, capable, and want to do. And even a holiday looks different to how it used to look. A holiday used to look like, you know, having a drink at lunchtime, having more drinks in the afternoon, drinking at dinner, and then going to bed at 9, and increasingly over the holiday feeling worse. Now a holiday is like, right, how many activities, adventures? Where's the gym? Is there a sauna? Bring me to the sauna. Where's the cold? It's so many rituals are available. There's so many self-care practices that I punctuate the day with. And I know that Barry's the same.
Yeah, no, I've recently moved house and sort of coming up with a new routine. I used to do a lot of HIIT workouts at home and early in the morning, and now that's sort of, I'm living in an apartment where I don't want to wake the neighbors downstairs, and so I've moved to calisthenics in the morning and
Ooh.
breathing.
Fantastic.
So I always start the day with some sort of Wim Hof style kind of deep breathing and breath hold, just sort of get the juices flowing. And I try to, so I do sort of not long, do 5 minutes of breathing, 15, 20 minutes of calisthenics. And then I take the dog out for a run for 15, 20 minutes and, have a shower.
Nice.
And, it's all done in an hour, and then I'm really ready to go.
Nice. I think it's important to start the day in that way, you know. A new mission, if I can, is to drop down below 5. At the moment, I have Monday to Friday, 5 a.m. But if I don't know, I want to drop it down a little bit. I don't know. I got comfortable with 5. So does that mean something? Was the whole thing about waking up early in the morning. 5 o'clock is no problem. I go to bed at midnight, I go to bed at 11, 10, 9, 3. I still wake up at 5 without any problem. I can function, but I'm not 100%, of course. Sleep is really important, just crazy busy. So, but anyway, sleep is really important.
Yeah, I mean, I know how busy you are because I have lived in the same country as you and seen your busyness. What do you see for your future and where are you heading, Dan?
So definitely slightly busier than this for a couple of years, I'm afraid to say, but it's a good thing. I really enjoy what I do. So, um, it- I joke about it, but it's my own decision. So Sway is mine and investors, of course. But you know, so yeah, at the moment, um, I see myself carry on with Sway, starting the academy, which is something we're working on. Where we'll be able to teach people how to teach people. So that's something that I really want to start to do, but we have to wait a little bit longer. So, and part of this thing, by the way, is understanding why someone wants to change. So it's very interesting what you said before, Barry, about the psychological side of thing. I find that I think there is a strictly correlation between also someone's own physical performances. I do believe there is a correlation between the mind and the brain. So how fast and strong is the brain, so the body, and so the Latin would say mente sana in corpore sano, so keep your mind healthy so your body will be too. So yeah, I'm seeing myself in UK for a couple of more years, 5, and then hopefully moving down in Europe again to Spain. Be nice, in contact with the sun. I can see they have the sun through your window, Jen. I'm so jealous. I would like to feel it on my skin. So yeah, what's your plan? Are you planning to come back to AK, or just are you staying here?
I think this whole freedom, this whole being free from alcohol means that I have freed myself from so many constraints. Like I don't see I've moved to New Zealand be right, you've moved. That's you done and dusted. I see now that's just another chapter while the kids finish school and university, while I develop my coaching business online, while I develop my sauna ritual business, while I develop my therapy business. That's all super exciting. And I want to be able to,
Lovely.
in 5 years' time, I want to be able to go and stay with you for 6 months on the same town in Spain and go, I'm going to work from here. Or I'm going to go and see where the kids are traveling and do that. We basically remove the shackles of life and start being able to use the brain and the body to, you know, milk this life and make the most of it. So I think we're
Yeah, I
at the
really like that.
time we're at the time now where we probably need to ask you what 3 words resonate with you around your journey from where you were 4 years ago to the possibilities and excitement of your new business and your new life.
Clarity, decision, and self-esteem. Those are the 3 words, and I think I took out of the journey really. Because I was saying in the beginning, you start to have a bit more clarity of your thoughts. That will allow you to also take decision because you're not afraid on them. You can see them. And then the self-esteem because you're actually doing something without being lost in your mind. So that was for me really.
That's brilliant. I can really, really resonate with those. That's, yeah, really good. And so, Dan, tell, if people would like to hear a bit more about Sway and or a bit, a bit more about you. Are you on the socials? What's your Instagram handle?
Yeah. So Sway it's swaystudio.co.uk. Anyway, for the website, we're doing another version of it, so it's currently rebranding, but you can find all the information in there. And something very nice actually, they came out of my experience of my lungs because I was at the time having to I'm a nutritional coach myself, but there is as much as you know. So I always believe in the power of others. I was taking a nutritionist. I was going to psychotherapies. I always had my own strength coach. I'm a master Pilates in trainer myself. So I was doing Pilates myself. And I found myself with these 4 or 5 different things that I was doing. And I said, hold on a second. What really a human needs to be able to perform and live a healthy life, hopefully sober. And that's where Sway up. So Sway is a collective of services with all the specialists. They collaborate with each other and to make the plan for you. So it's fully custom, 360 degrees on psychotherapies, physiotherapy. You're getting a massage, you want strength and Pilates as well. So it's quite a thing where everyone talks to each other for the well-being for the customer. So yeah, hope you just obviously when you're going back to the country, be happy to see you back, of course. Be my pleasure. And Barry, where are you
I'm
based?
in Leiden in the Netherlands, so not far. But I get back to,
Oh, wow.
my brother lives in Peckham, so I get back to the UK pretty often. But yeah, it's been.
Listen, you're very welcome to come to our pop-up knowledge classes, by the way,
That sounds amazing.
We support in different courses than yours, but it's 9 a.m. So if you're there, we support in Refuge, which is a course to support students, but supports violence in the home and women anyway. And we donate quite a lot of it. So
That's
you're very
brilliant.
welcome to
Well,
come. You don't have to pay, of course. I'm not saying to pay, but come and say hi.
yeah, no, we'll put that information in the show notes so people can find you. Well, thanks very much.
Thanks.
It's been really lovely speaking to you.
No, likewise. Thank you so much, guys.
I miss you, Dan. You're probably one of the most inspirational, well, you are the most inspirational trainer I've ever had, and you've certainly helped me kickstart my journey here back in New Zealand and carry on the good work you started. Although I don't think my push-ups are as good anymore, that's for sure.
But it's teamwork. It's always teamwork, especially can't do anything without other person willing to perform. So it's good on you. Always good more on the other person. As you do, the coach can show you the ways, but you must walk it yourself, don't you? It's something your own journey that you develop within you.
Exactly. Thanks so much, Dan.
Thank you, guys.